Ian is shocked to discover that the guard isn't just being a cliched sleeping on the job, but he's been stabbed in the chest. In the bamboo forest, Akumat and some Mongol warriors wait for the signal to action. Having been told Tegana carries a torch for Akumat, there is some disagreements as to what the action will actually entail. The doctor asks Ian if he killed the guard, or, taking a leaf out of his own book, asked him to draw them a map, with a knife, using his own blood as ink. After seeing Tegana outside the tent, Ian decides to warn Marco of the imminent attack. Ian sneaks into Marco's tent and wakes him up. Marco points his sword at Ian, but after Ian explains his fears of an attack, Marco puts his trousers on and gets ready to fight. As Marco and Tegana wake everyone up, the doctor, Susan and Barbara leave the tent. No sooner have they poked their feminine heads out, unreconstructed man Marco orders the women to keep an eye on Ping Cho. The men, all awake and positioned defensively around the camp, Marco offers Ian a sword. Keen to get to grips with a gleaming representation of manhood, Ian accepts it gladly.
If you're half as aggressive with this as you are with your tongue, Doctor, we can't lose.
After happily receiving the compliment regarding his tongue skills, the doctor suggests using TARDIS, the ship, to get the hell out of there. Tegana, never one to miss an opportunity, claims the doctor is pulling some sort of magic trick, and that the invite into his caravan will result in him being sawn in half, or skewered by loads of swords, or having his head and feet slid away from his torso to a seemingly impossible degree. Thinking swiftly, Ian suggests using the surrounding bamboo to outwit the bandits, by throwing it on the fire so it explodes. He frames it like he's using his science brain, but it's clear he's done this sort of thing before. After all, they don't call him Bamboom Chesterton for nothing. In fact, they don't call him that at all, no matter how many times he throws bamboo onto the fires he's started in their front gardens. In the forest, the bandits grow increasingly impatient. Akumat fears the elderly Tegana might still be asleep, so plans to attack with or without his signal. Although if he really was that much of an old man, he'd need to get up several times in the night just to have a wee. As they continue to wait, Tegana decides to try his hand at body modification. He's heard that people with split tongues are very popular in certain areas. As Ian and Marco stack up bamboo, Marco indulges in some amateur philosophy.
Does the lamb conceal the wolf, or the wolf the lamb?
Not getting the intellectually stimulating conversation he was hoping for from Ian, he resorts to a more basic tack.
Hey, what were you going to do to me? Take the key from you? Use you as a hostage until we were safely at the TARDIS.
Bloody hell, Ian, you didn't need to spell out your whole escape plan. As they wait for the attack, Ian suggests throwing the bamboo on the fire so it has time to heat up. The doctor, warmed by the flames, has fallen asleep like an old cat. Ian considers the slapstick comedic potential of leaving him asleep until the bamboo starts exploding, but his plans for Jaipur are thwarted, as with perfect comic timing,
There are no bandits.
as the men noisily battle, the women stay in one of the tents. Barbara wisely keeping the two girls away from the weaponry and bodily fluids being thrashed and splashed around outside. Tegana and Akumat come face to face. Before Akumat can say anything, Tegana grabs him in a tackle, and they have a good old wrestle before Akumat is penetrated by Tegana. One of the bandits enters the women's tent. He doesn't get the bang he was hoping for though, as it's at that moment the bamboo starts to explode on the fire. The bandits leg it away as the travellers celebrate their victory. The doctor insists that the bamboo bangs had nothing to do with the bandits' retreat, when it clearly did. He's obviously in full grumpy contrarian mode after being woken up. The next day, as the caravan has stopped on an arid plain, the adult travellers are having their daily moan about Marco meeting. The doctor insists they try to get the keys again, while Ian says it won't be easy after last night's raid. And absolutely not, because Ian spilled the beans on their plan to escape. Oh no!
I have a question to ask all of you. Will you promise on your honor not to attempt another escape?
Just say yes! As thanks for helping fight off the bandits, Marco revokes the seizure of the TARDIS, in the name of the Khan. Ian and the Doctor are quick to realise that this effectively changes nothing about their situation. As he leaves the tent, Tegana once again accuses the Doctor of working magic. Just let it lie, man! Left alone again, they go over the events of the night before and speculate on Tegana's possible involvement and intentions. Barbara says she recognised one of the murdered bandits from the Cave of 500 Eyes. The reason she didn't speak up earlier was because she wasn't 100% sure. After all, he did have a full face when she saw him back then. Susan and Ping Cho interrupt their conversation as they escort Ling Tao, a courier from Shang-Tu, into the tent. Ian, clearly threatened by the appearance of a virile young man, goes straight for a catty insult.
You look as though you've travelled far.
As Marco is hiding the TARDIS keys in his special extra private journal, Ping Cho enters to tell him of Ling Tao's arrival. He makes her promise not to tell anyone where the keys are, or what pictorial perversions are in that particular volume. In the main tent, Ling Tao is busy impressing everyone with his riding prowess and stamina. Barbara is particularly impressed with his determination not to stop until the destination has been reached, while Ian begrudgingly admires his bells. Marco enters and Ling Tao hands him a letter from the Khan, telling Marco his presence is required as soon as possible. Everyone's ears prick up at the mention of hard riding. But there's no time for that. They have to head off ahead of the caravan, with all their belongings following behind at a more leisurely pace. At the Cheng Ting Way station, full-time manager and part-time pantomime character method actor Wang Lo greets them.
And how long will you honour us with your presence, my lord?
Ian and Barbara have a good old laugh at the Doctor's outrage when he learns the TARDIS has been put in the stables. Later that day, Susan and Ping Cho are amusing themselves at the fish pond by looking at what fish show characteristics of their fellow travellers.
Look at that one there. He's just like Wang Lo, all fat, smooth and silky. Look at this one here. He's very solemn. He's just like Marco Polo. Look at this one dashing around all over the place. He's got Ian's energy. Ah, look, that one's all by itself. It's independent like Barbara. There's you, Susan. A wee bit goldfish. Now, where are you, Ping Cho? Oh, look there. That little pretty one down there with the wedding veil. Oh, sorry.
So she can dish it out, but she can't take it. In an attempt to make Susan feel bad, Ping Cho says she's feeling sad because she misses home. Unfortunately, Susan has a considerably higher number in the game of homesick top trumps, and Ping Cho is soon blabbing about the TARDIS keys, but stopping herself from breaking her promise of revealing the hiding place. Both girls now feeling equally bad. Susan promises Ping Cho no one will ask her to break her word. At the stables, Tegana negotiates with the absolutely legitimate businessman Kuiji to have TARDIS taken away for him. Later, as Marco is excitedly drawing in his special journal, Ping Cho enters to tell him dinner is ready. He quickly goes to wash his hands, because of the ink that's on them and nothing else. Ping Cho, while not daring to look at whatever deviant art is hidden in the pages, removes the TARDIS key from inside the cover. Later that evening, Ping Cho and Susan meet at a romantic spot in the courtyard. They gaze into each other's eyes as the young girl, her voice trembling slightly, tells her friend there is something she wants to give her. Susan, her heart starting to beat faster, dare not expose her hopes by guessing what it may be. As they begin to bring their faces closer together, breaths becoming shorter and more excited, the clouds above part and a perfect beam of moonlight illuminates them against the darkening backdrop of the courtyard. Something passed between them, given extra charge by the heightened emotions of the moment. Just then Tegana walked past and, like the clouds passing back across the moon above, the light of the moment was gone. So Ping Cho gave Susan the TARDIS keys. Later that night, the travellers are sneaking out to the TARDIS. There is a guard on duty, so Ian tries the old harmless drunk guy shtick. This is olden times, so people still fall for that nonsense. Susan chooses this moment to go and find Ping Cho. Ian knocks the guard out, ensuring he'll have a realistic feeling hangover the next day. Tegana enters the courtyard just as the travellers enter the TARDIS. Then Susan arrives and has to hide from the mooching warlord. In TARDIS? Yes! Ian realises Susan isn't with them. They're all justifiably angry that she's jeopardised everything for her new bestie. Outside, Susan is grabbed by Tegana, and guess what? She screams.